Alea Nadeem, along with former Georgia Congressman Jack Kingston. Good afternoon to you both. Jack, I want to start with you. This has been a tug of war with the U.S. Space Force. So the president wanted it in Alabama. Biden came in and moved it to Colorado, and a lot of it, the Republicans thought at the time, was to punish Senator Tuberville, who is from the state and was holding up Joe Biden's appointments on the Senate floor, protesting the Pentagon allowing military personnel to travel to state to get abortions. So that it was a political punishment to actually move it to Colorado. What is your take on this relocation?
I do think there was politics in the Biden decision. In 2019, the Air Force did an 11-point analysis. They call it analysis of alternatives. And Huntsville came in number 1. Colorado Springs came in number 5. The Secretary of the Air Force wanted to put it in Huntsville, but Biden came in the 11th hour and said, no, put it in Colorado Springs. So there's no question about it being political. Huntsville is going to save over about $500 million over a 15-year period of time because of the interoperability with the other branches of the military and space forces that are already located there. You got great leadership, not just with Tommy Tuberville and Katie Brett, but Robert Adderholt, a senior appropriator, but most especially Mike Rogers, who's the chairman of the Armed Services Committee. He's fought tirelessly for this and has already put in something like $30 million in the budget in anticipation of this. The Alabama delegation is one of the strongest right now in Congress, and everybody knows it. And when they want something, they get it. But I can't say enough about Mike Rogers' leading role in this endeavor.
Yeah, and by the way, Huntsville is a great town and lots of room to grow, and people can go there. They actually may be able to afford to buy something, and it's a great location, like an hour and a half from Nashville. You got schools in the general area to draw from. Alea, what is your read on this?
Right. You know, when the Air Force looks at these, so I had previously done these when I worked as a military legislative liaison. The Air Force is very thorough when they do this, and they look at schools, cost of living, childcare, right? Colorado is heavily taxed already with members. Alabama does not have the same burdens that Colorado already has. And by the way, when the Air Force does these, 40% of what they look at is what fits the mission. Let's get back to the mission. And 40%, it was weighed pretty heavily that Alabama was the best choice. So we have to give an applaud to Senator Britt and Senator Tuberville for making this actually happen and get to celebrate this, because again, this previous Secretary of the Air Force had already announced that this was the place based on mission, and unfortunately politics got involved.
Jack, you know, when Joe Biden decided to relocate it to Colorado, what the line was out of the administration was that they wanted to make sure that the military readiness was on point, and that relocating them to Huntsville would slow us down in our, space ambitions when it comes to China. That they needed the continuity of staying in Colorado. I mean, do you think that relocating them back to Huntsville now, 4 years later, will threaten our military readiness?
No, it does. They're going to be able to hit the ground running in Huntsville. What Hollywood is to movies, Huntsville is to space. All things space, as a matter of fact. They already have areas there for the people to live in. In Colorado Springs, a lot of the personnel would be 9.5 miles away. Here they can be located at Redfern Arsenal. And so, I mean, it is ready to go. It's just tailor-made. And I don't think the Biden argument would have ever stood if the press was really scrutinizing it and doing their job. But I think this decision is just a logical decision. And as we pointed out, this was the original choice of the Air Force. And so what Donald Trump is doing is correcting a wrong.